Yeah, well, I was being like,
I call it a tub. I'm sorry.
I was, the plan, the plan all along for disposing of the bones was to use that duffel bag thing, but then I was hoping I'd still get the body in there, but I got her and realized, well, no, she's way too big for this, and I liked to never even got her in that tub because was
the duffel bag, was it bought for this plan too?
No, I'd had the duffel bag for several years.
Okay. I'm sorry, Rob.
But anyway, and when I said from about 4 to, I was probably more like 5 to 6:30. I was online talking to that girl in California while the half beheaded corpse was sitting there in the sitting up propped against the tub draining. Because
was in your mind that I need to set up an alibi for where I was? Because you seem to say when we were talking to you, like, hey, yeah, she can vouch for me.
I came up with that after. I was just genuinely. I decided that so I went to try to get rid of the body, but they was still bleeding too much, and stomach contents were pouring out of the neck, and so I was like, well, I'm going to let it sit here for a few hours and coagulate some more, so maybe I can move it without it bleeding everywhere so much. So I just kind of went about my business with this. I closed the door because the bathroom, because like I said, I was sick, sick to my stomach that I'm doing this. I didn't even want to see the corpse, and I just kind of closed it up in the bathroom with some incense burning to cover up the vomit smell from going up the air vent, because I
smelled like vomit where she was coming out.
Yeah, the stomach contents were leaking out of her neck when I tried to move her. Because, I can often smell things coming from other people's apartments when they're cooking something strong, and I don't want people to smell the blood and vomit, so I put some strong incense burning in there and closed all the doors. And, I just sat there at the computer for a couple hours, talking to her. I wasn't talking much because, I was feeling really sick and, really bad. I was literally physically sick, partially from what I did, and partially I was, wore out and sweating and hot from the exertion, and I don't do well in warm temperatures. It's just sitting there in that was part of what was making me sick, sitting back there in that office, because it was, even in here it's too hot for me. It feels pretty good in here, but I grew up in a house, my parents kept it like 70 degrees pretty much all the time in the house, so anything over 70 degrees I start to get hot. So I was, just sick to my stomach about the vomit, but I was sitting there at the computer talking to her until. Well, then about that same time, I was talking to her, but I was also occasionally stepping outside, helping them look for the girl, stuff like that, kind of setting it up an alibi there, and acting like I was all concerned about her missing.
When did you first notice they were looking for her?
Pretty much right after I killed her, I looked out and I noticed the dad got home a little early. It seemed like he was home before 5, I think, and it was probably about 5 or so. I noticed him out there. Starting to walk around and get in his truck and drive around, and then I went out there one of the times specifically so he could ask me, have you seen her, and I could say no. And so he did, and I was like, and I told him the story. The last time I saw her come home from school. She went upstairs, came back down, got on her bike, rode off. That's the last time I saw her. And then like I said, I was stepping out there occasionally, acting like I was keeping a watch for her in case she came back while Dad was gone, and talking to the manager and all that stuff, and I hope they find her soon. This is horrible. Just kind of setting up and making myself look concerned, but not too concerned, because then that would make me look suspicious too. So, and then finally, about 8 o'clock or so, I told him, I'd like to stay out here and help, but I've got to get back to bed because I got to, work early in the morning. And then, I went inside and finally finished cleaning up the body, and it still bled everywhere, and I had to wash the tub out and wash the floor, scrub the floor.
To get the body in the tub, did you have to cut limbs off? Or?
No, she's not cut up at all except for the neck.
So you just basically compacted her body?
Yeah, and by that time, that was the reason I had such a hard time getting her into that, is because by that time she was already stiff, and she had been in like a kneeling position on the tub, so her legs were all bent up like this. And, I couldn't get her knees to go down far enough to get the lid on. That was the main reason it was taped on at first, because it wouldn't go down far enough to snap on. So I snapped it on and taped it down so it stays snapped on. And then yesterday I went in there and, taped it more to seal it, and, in case it started smelling. The smells wouldn't get out. Smell out.
The clothes that you were wearing during all this, did you put those in the box with it?
No, I still wore them the next day, even though.
So you didn't get much blood on
I
your clothes?
didn't. Well, every time I'd go, I wore them when I was choking her. But then, when I was cleaning up the messes and cutting her head off and everything, I took my clothes back off.
So
except for a
okay.
pair of underwear, pair of gray underwear, which I think I stuck back in my underwear drawer. I didn't get anything on them either.
So it was just in the tub, it's just her body and the clothes she was wearing?
Her body, yeah.
The tub being the blue.
Yeah, the blue.
I call it a tub.
To be different from the bathtub, but you're talking about the...
Like I said, I tried to move her, but she was still making a huge mess. So I got a tarp I had also bought for this purpose. But
How long ago was that?
About the same time I bought the tub, like the container. I bought it at the local Walmart, I think, though.
Okay.
But, what was I saying?
So that tarp is in there, too?
Yeah, it's in a... So I went to move her, and she was bleeding everywhere, so I bought the tarp for the purpose of not getting blood, because I was going to have sex with him on the couch, but when I went to torture him and stuff, I was probably going to put him on the floor on the tarp, because there'd probably be some blood. And so I bought it for that, but then when I went to move her, I was like, I can't even move her, she's so heavy. So I'm going to try to flop her over onto this tarp, and maybe I can slide the tarp around a little better and wrap her up in that. So I kind of laid her on the tarp and folded it over a little, and then got her in some trash bags as good as I could.
Okay. And when I opened it up, I saw the blue shirt. Did you just kind of put her clothes folded on top of all that stuff?
Afterwards, yeah, I put that red towels on the bottom of the tub to soak up any blood or anything. Because at first I figured I'd just dump the body somewhere, wash the tub out, and bring it back. But then at the end, I was like, I don't even want to open the tub and look at this body again. I'm just going to drag the tub out to a field and set it on fire. Because I'd been part of the plan all along. If somehow I wasn't able to eat them and there was a body left over, because here until just a week or two ago, we were having like a really bad drought. The fires were just breaking out all over, so I was just going to drag her out to a field and set it on fire.
And you have a big fire.
Yeah, fire had burned most of the remains and kind of destroy any hairs and DNA evidence I'd left in the field, hopefully. God, I'm tired and sick again. But so anyway, I got her into those bags. Finally got her into the tub, but couldn't get her knees in there. I finally was able to maneuver a little in there. I could get the lid at least halfway on, and I taped it down.
Okay. You duct tape the ceiling.
Yeah, I did that yesterday. I completely sealed it.
And when did you take the bike apart?
Was it the same night? Yeah, I think I did that in the same night, Wednesday night. And then I was going to go home tonight, because even that frame that was left over that I couldn't take apart was, I think, still going to be too big for the duffel bag, so I was going to try to use my hacksaw to cut it up a little bit tonight.
And did you already have all the tools that you needed to take the bike apart?
Yeah.
You didn't have to go anywhere and borrow any tools or anything?
No. Parents got me a box of tools for my 18th birthday.
Okay, and you just had those at the house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kevin, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just nauseous again.
Okay.
Exhausted.
Take a break for a second.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, let's take a breather for just a second.
I stink.
Just like of a shower.
Yeah, I got him to let me wash my hands and face a little right before they brought me in here.
We're saying we've been up since about 7 this morning. We've been going all day, and now the sun. So you're not. You okay, buddy?
Probably ought to get somebody just to check him for. I think we're done. go ahead.
Okay.
Have them bring someone in and make sure he's okay. Hello? We're gonna get you some help here. It's 11:33. Kevin?
We're going to end because you're just too sick to keep going.
Okay.
We might have an EMT.
You have a,
You want us to?
Yeah, get an EMT.
He's getting nauseous. We just want to make sure he's okay.
5% would you?